from today, October 30th, through November 6th. And what I'm going to do is I'm using data from the U.S. Navy. They have particular satellites that they use up there to image the Earth and to also watch the oceans and things like that. And what these satellites also do is tell you if the tectonic plate areas of the Earth are heating up. And usually, when they heat up, there's earthquakes. So I'm gonna make some predictions based off those heatings that from the data from the U.S. Navy site there. And what I'm going to do here in this particular video is I'm centered on using Google Earth here, by the way. I'm centered on the Thailand area, Singapore area, all down through here, the Gulf of Thailand. And why am I starting out in this area? Because there's a now, first of all, as you can see on screen here, there's been several small earthquakes, as you can see, all through the area in Indonesia, all down through the Java Sea here. 4.6 is 4.7 and all in that range. There's been a lot of extreme heating going on according to the satellite data here. So I'm very concerned about this area. Uh, Extreme heating, I mean very extreme, and people in this area should be alerted that there could be a possible strong earthquake here in this particular area. And I'm saying it today, and hopefully I'm wrong, and I am hopefully really saying that I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about this, but it looks like that the heating is so extreme in this area, it's unreal actually. And so this is a great area of concern for a huge earthquake within the next week or so in this particular area here, where I'm showing on screen on Google Earth. Now, moving from this area, we may come back to this area before this video is up. Moving from this particular area, I'm going to hop over here to Africa and point out a couple of areas of heating that's going on in Africa. In this area here, all down through here, there's some heating going on. Possible earthquake to happen within the next week or so here. Heating going on up in this area here, on this side of Africa. Possible earthquake could be happening in this area as well. And also on this side of Africa here, possible earthquake could happen. There's a lot of extreme heating going on here as well. Also, let's go ahead and go over to Central America. We already know that they've been having multiple quakes down there. But in this particular area where you see it's quieted, there's been some heating going on down here in this area where you don't see any earthquake activity. These are earthquakes that have happened within the past day or week or so, according to Google Earth in the USGS. But there's no activity here, and there's a lot of heating going on in here, so you may start seeing earthquakes in here within the next week or so of that part of Central America. There's also some weird places I want to point out up here, and I'll call them weird because it's kind of unusual, but south of Louisiana in this area, there's some extreme heating going on in this area as well, where there could possibly be a small earthquake up in this area in the Louisiana area here. Moving over here to Florida, there is some heating going on here in the Georgia, South Carolina area and the Florida area. All through here, there's some heating going on. Could be a small earthquake to take place there, possibly within the next week. And even up here in the Great Lakes area, there's some heating that just started going on up in here, where there could be a small earthquake within the next week or so as well. Let's move off to Australia and New Zealand area. Now we know that there's been quakes all down through this area. It's plagued by quakes. And I'm not particularly talking about this area here, but let's move farther south down in this region here. There's some heating going on down here. There could be a possible earthquake take place down here within the next week or so, just southeast of New Zealand. This is New Zealand here. And over here in Australia, which there have been on and off quakes, but particularly in this area is an area of concern here in the Timor Sea area. Possible earthquake could take place there within the next week or so because there's a lot of extreme heating going on in this area in the tectonic plates. So we want to watch this whole area here, as it should be a great concern as there's heating taking place down there as well. One more place I forgot to look at here. Over here, north, let me adjust this if I can. Right in this area here, right, trying to make sure I got this right here. Right in this area here in Spain, actually. There's a lot of extreme heating going on here in this whole area here. There's some extreme heating going on. There could be a possible earthquake take place in this area as well within the next week or so, as the data coming in from the Navy satellites indicate, the Navy maps indicate there's a lot of extreme heating going on in the Spain area as well. So people in the Spain area should be on the lookout within the next week or so. There's possible earthquake could take place there. And now people may ask, well, what would be the intensity of the earthquake? That I can't tell you, but it could be a pretty strong earthquake that could take place in these areas that I've been pointing out. But one particular area in particular that I want to point out with extreme caution here. I could be wrong about this, but in this particular area here, there is some great, huge heating going on in this whole area here in Malaysia, Singapore, all up through here. Extreme heating going on. So people in this area, if anybody in this area is watching this video before it happens, even if hopefully it doesn't happen, but if you're watching this, please take precautions, because there could be a very, very strong earthquake take place in this area here, possible, because there's a lot of very extreme heating going on in the Malaysia, Singapore area, all through here, all up through here. Okay, all up through here is where the heating is taking place, and that's the area of extreme concern that we should keep our eye on. Hopefully I'm wrong. Again, guys, I'm not making this video saying I know for a fact that earthquakes are going to take places in these areas, but I'm saying based on heating that's going on under the surface of the earth in these particular areas that I've pointed out, usually when that takes places, by watching this stuff for several years now, usually small to strong and even sometimes severe earthquakes take places when you see the heating going on in these areas, as I've pointed out on this Google Earth program here. So these are areas of concern that should be watched from now